Hello and welcome to a very, very hot Page 3 Hot Topics. I don't know about you, but we want to know what you're doing. Are you sunbathing? Are you in a cold office? Have you taken the day off work because you can't get in? We want to know what you're up to. I am currently working from home. I'm very lucky I've got some outside space. We're joined by the girls all in their offices, living rooms, all sorts. But it is a hot one today, so we want to know what you're up to. We're going to be talking about the heat wave. Obviously, it's lovely to have some sun in Britain, but it's actually a bit too hot to even sunbathe right now. And of course, lots of people are talking about climate change. What can we do about it? So we'll be talking about that. There was a big Hollywood wedding in Vegas with two exes getting together, J-Lo and Ben Affleck. We've seen a few pictures that J-Lo has released. Would you ever marry an ex after 20 years? Has it given enough time between you, or will you always hate them? Chloe and Tristan Thompson are expecting another baba through a surrogate. There's been various allegations of cheating. He has also admitted to embarrassing her publicly, even more so recently. But yeah, they're expecting again. Any advice would you give to Chloe, or do you think that it's just going on deaf ears? And Christine McGuinness says she'd run 1,000,000 miles if she met her husband Paddy now. Does a leopard ever change its spots? And do you think that he can stay together despite changing over many, many years? We want to hear all of your opinions on the topics that we discuss. We want to know what you're up to, so let us know. And of course, we've got the hot seat. So we're going to kick things off then with the heat wave. Girls, are you enjoying it, or is it just a bit too hot for you? Jess?
I enjoyed it on the weekend when I had like fun plans outside with my friends, but today I've got so much stuff to do. It is a little bit much. Do you know? It's just like you step on, it's like you're in an oven. But I'm not complaining too much because I do like hot weather, and I can cope with it. So it's okay. Pandora?
Oh, it's just us.
Just us.
My laptop right now. I feel like my laptop's about to explode from it being so hot. Daisy.
I'm a tropical fish. I'd always rather be too hot than too cold. But I feel like as a country, we don't cope with the heat very well. Like we don't cope when it snows, and we don't cope when it's too hot. We have to be balanced. So I wish there was some aircon in my life, but I'd rather be too hot. So I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah, this is true. We can't complain too much. Kate, do you have a slightly different view? Do you find it a bit concerning?
Yeah, first of all, I find it way too hot. I'm always got factor 50 on. When I go abroad, I'm always under the umbrella. And yeah, I do think we should be concerned about it. Obviously, the temperatures have risen so much that it should cause concern for people at this point, although a lot of people do enjoy the hot weather.
They do indeed. We're just not used to it in the UK, obviously. And also we don't have the infrastructure in place. And people are saying, we can't handle the heat in this weather, but lots of other hot countries can. But they have got specific train tracks and everything which they develop in winter, which costs thousands and thousands of pounds, or whatever currency they're in, to actually get it in place, whereas we don't have that here. There's been advice on schools and stuff. What are you doing differently with your day, Daisy, today?
Just chilling, just drinking cold drinks, relaxing in the garden for like 5 minutes, then back inside for 5 minutes. I can't quite find a balance.
Jess, what do you think we should be doing as a country right now in terms of climate change?
I think it's a really hard one because, like, for the average people, like just us, there's only so much we can do. Like, already, I'm sure those of us that live in London, we use public transport. All of our stuff, like, we recycle. So I don't know what we can do as just citizens. I think it's kind of down to the people that are getting, like, private jets and the companies that are, like, burning tons and tons of rubbish. I think it's kind of lays with them. It sounds like such a cop-out, but there's nothing else we can do, I don't think, personally.
Kate, do you think there's anything more that we can do?
Yeah, quite a few things. So to try and slash, obviously, CO2 emissions, the government are going the right way with electric cars. Obviously, they're eventually going to ban them. they used to do these grants where you got £5,000 off a car, but the really good ones with the range, I think the price was too high to even get that grant. So I think they could step in more, maybe take the VAT off electric cars so more people buy them. As well as that, they obviously banned stuff like plastic straws. Why don't they extend that and start to phase out plastic bottles, which is a thing obviously a lot of people buy.
Yeah, and Daisy, that's a good point. Do you buy plastic?
No, actually, yeah, I do buy plastic water from the shop, but
Yeah.
I will now reuse that bottle all week until I buy a new one. I know that is really bad, but then I think, we all do what we can. Like Jess said, if you live in London, getting public transport, I'll always have like paper straws at home, things like that. Do what you can, recycle.
Yeah. And Jess, are you a victim of buying disposable plastic waters and plastic? Yeah.
Yeah, I did it earlier. There's literally a bottle of water on the side. It's so terrible. I feel like the drinking water in London is not good, and I don't have room in my tiny fridge for a filter. So if I'm out and about, I am going to buy one because I can't stand the water from the taps here. It's terrible, I know, but
Yeah,
what can you do?
and it is drinkable. It would be the argument. It is drinkable.
Yeah. It is.
Kate, do you buy plastic bottles? I mean, you obviously say about this, but are you also a victim of buying plastic bottles?
The thing is, everyone probably has a reusable bottle, whether it's you remember it every single time. If you need a drink of water, I'm not going to say, oh, well, actually, I'm not going to buy a plastic bottle. Buy water because it's in a plastic bottle. So it's got to be convenient, which is where I think they should step in and say, well, why don't we phase this out and ban it? Because you can't always remember to bring your reusable bottle, especially in this heat. You're always going to need some water. So
Yeah, you are indeed. And I don't think cities are made for this kind of heat, I have to say, unless you've got aircon, which is extremely expensive to run. Extremely expensive. Okay, girls. Well, that is the heat wave today. We're going to be having across the news if we're going to hit another record today. That we'll find out about it. And by the looks of things, I think we might do. Especially, I think actually in my garden, I think we might. My laptop just froze from how hot it was getting. So apologies for that. We took this to a poll. See what you guys thought about the heat wave, which is happening right now. I'm not sure if we have it. No worries if we don't. Should people be more concerned about the heat wave due to climate change? Yes, 75%. No, 25%. So, girls, I'm going to ask round here, one by one. When you've been speaking to your friends on group chats and stuff today and family members, have any of you, other than just bringing up ice creams, drinks, stuff like that, sunbathing, has anyone actually brought up climate change in that group chat? Daisy?
No.
Jess?
Yeah.
You have? Okay. Kate?
no, they haven't.
No. Okay, interesting. Well, Jess, you're bringing it forward for us.
We do chat 24/7 though about everything. So, and someone in one of my friendship groups actually works in like environmental bits and bobs. So yeah, we do.
I don't feel like people like change though. Like they bring in like the tinned waters, but you'd probably still go in out of habit and buy a bottle of water because that's what you're used to.
And also, what I would say about the tinned water thing is I got given a tinned water.
Tastes bad.
Which is, I wouldn't have minded it, but when I'm having a water, I'd quite like it to be refrigerated. Now, there are plastic bottles which are refrigerated, and the tin ones weren't. So you buy the plastic one, right?
Yeah.
And the tin one's really bad for breaking nails. You've got to flick.
First world problems, but yeah, it's a bear. But yeah, okay, interesting. It'll be interesting to see how this develops. If the government are going to step more in action and actually do something and realise this is probably the coldest summer that we're going to have now, and it's just going to get hotter and hotter and hotter. Okay, who needs to go to Spain when it's like this, quite frankly? Okay, we're going to move on now from climate change and heat waves onto J-Lo and Ben Affleck. They tied the knots in Vegas. Very sweet. some people are perhaps saying a little bit tacky with Vegas. Now, Daisy, from someone who's also just come from Vegas, do you think it's tacky or sweet?
Vegas is my favorite place in the world. If they want to get married there, I'm all for it. I think it's cute because I think, you know, it can make a fun aspect to it. It can be chilled, it can be busy. It doesn't always have to be this grand, big white wedding. They probably wanted it to be a bit more low-key, a bit more of a fun side to it. I'm all for it.
Yeah. Okay. Does anyone have a differing opinion?
I think Vegas seems like such good fun. It's like you're not taking yourself too seriously.
Yeah.
It's like fair play to them.
It's not like a big Kardashian wedding, is it? Okay. Kate, you're smiling and smirking in the corner.
I love it. I'd love to do a Vegas wedding. And I think a lot of people would have expected them to do some big grand wedding, but I guess they just wanted their privacy and it's so much fun. So I really love that they got married in Vegas.
And they do look extremely happy. That glow that we have in that pic, the glow is real. And she looks sensational. Whoever her makeup artist is as well, love to know her details, but that smoky eye is unreal. Okay, but let's take this out of the Vegas situation. It's an ex. Would you ever get back with an ex 20 years down the line and then get married to them, Kate?
I mean, it's been 20 years. I'm sure they've both changed as people. Why did they break up in the first place? I actually don't know. Does anyone know the reason?
There's lots of speculative.
So no one really knows. No, yeah. I love it. I love that they've got back together after 20 years. It's so rare. Like after that period of time, who would have thought you're actually going to get back with someone you understand maybe a few years, but 20 years is just on another level. I love it.
Yeah, 20 years is a bit mad. It's like a school reunion or something.
I know. Yeah.
Daisy, would you ever get back with an ex after 20 years and get married?
I hope not. I'm going to say no, absolutely not. But I am a big believer in right people, right place, right time. As for those two, you know, maybe it was the right person, but just the wrong timing. So they look happy, good for them. But not for me. Not for me.
Jess?
I personally wouldn't, but I guess if it seemed right, then for them, if it seems right, then yeah, why not? You could
Why wouldn't you?
There's no one that I can think of that I would actually want to be with. Not like Ben Affleck kind of level. But if I get why she's taking him back, but no, the people that I would be taking back.
I mean, they're obviously both very successful in their own right, and they haven't had to lean on one another for their own successful careers, have they?
No. But he is still a gorgeous man, so maybe she just thinks, oh, well, you know, why not? And also, like, how old is she? She's 50 something.
I'll find out her age for you right now. She
53?
is. Give me 1 second. She is 52. 52.
Yeah, she looks fab, doesn't she?
She looks amazing.
And she turns 53 on the 26th of July.
Oh, so cute. Well, yeah, I would take them back at that age, I think. Because you don't want to be messing around with other guys that age, because they're all like old and fat and stuff. So. Ben Affleck.
It's true. I bet her ex is absolutely kicking himself.
Literally.
After seeing these pictures. Well, I don't know what happened there as well. All rumours, but sometimes you got to lose something to realise how special they are.
Very true.
Okay, we'll take this to a poll again. See what you guys thought. Would you get married in Vegas to an ex? No. Oh, that's very sad. But you people have spoken. A little bit of class, maybe. I'm just putting it out there. But you can't help love. So there we go. And maybe a very different position if you're in their position, that it wasn't all glammy and stuff. We're going to move on now onto Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson. I swear we always do a Kardashian topic every single week. can't really get away from them. They're expecting another child, despite cheating allegations. Now, obviously, we don't know the ins and outs of everything. They obviously try and keep their private life quite under wraps, given the coverage that they've had. They've made various statements. But yeah, there they are. And that was when Chloe was pregnant initially with her first child with Tristan. But now they're expecting via a surrogate. Obviously, with all these different allegations going around, what advice would you give to Chloe, Daisy?
You've just got to make your own choices. That's your relationship. It's your person. You know them more than anybody else does. Like you said, the allegations. As a couple in a relationship, if you want to talk through cheating, lying, whatever it might be, and you decide to forgive that person, that's your own decision. So, I was saying this to someone the other day, like, people will give their opinions, but it's who you go to bed with and spoons you at night. That's up to you. It's not up to them. So just do what you feel is right for you. And as long as you're happy and you are happy, then ignore everyone else.
That's true. But let's put it onto Hollywood scale. You've got literally 1,001 eyes on you. It might be difficult to avoid, but I hear your point.
Yeah, when obviously they got back together again, I was kind of like, no, please just move on to someone else. But I do think we just have to respect that it's her. She wants to do what she wants to do and what's best for her family. Obviously, there's kids involved. So I feel bad that she gets so many people tell her, oh, why are you with him? She gets so much abuse online for it, because I just think she should do what's best for her.
She should do what's best for her.
Yeah.
Jess, do you have anything else to add?
No, I agree with Daisy and Kay. I just think it's so easy to say, just leave him, he's not worth your time, blah, blah, blah. But she'll probably be miserable without him and less miserable with him, even though she's getting disrespected every other week. But I guess if someone's going to be miserable without that person, you just got to let them crack on. Just be there to support. So maybe that's what we should all do. Send her nice messages and support.
Dear Chloe, I'm sure she watches Hot Topics every week.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of if you were in Chloe's shoes, would you do anything more to address the situation to try and keep trolls at bay, Daisy?
It's hard, isn't it? Because even though you can walk around and say, I've got a strong backbone, I don't care, it's not nice to hear all the negative comments. And I suppose you do care what people think, especially if it's your friends and your family, and you get to that stage where you feel like you haven't got anyone to talk to because they're bored of the same story. But I don't know, just can't help who you want to be with.
No, you can't. Jess?
If I was Kardashian level, I wouldn't go on social media. I would have someone to manage it for me. It really surprises me that they do scroll through Instagram and have their eyes on their comments. I would probably have my comments switched off. I wouldn't go on Twitter, and I just wouldn't look at it, because if they just stop looking at social media, then the trolling and the hate wouldn't exist to them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They literally just not look. But then I know human curiosity and stuff, you are going to want to know, but I just wouldn't look.
Yeah. No, it's difficult, isn't it? And also, I just saw a notification come up on my phone saying I spent 5 hours on my phone averagely every day last week. And it's so easy, isn't it, to just scroll on your phone and get addicted. We've spoken about this before, but it's so easy, especially when your work is there as well. You want to see your work campaigns and stuff. You want to see how they're being taken online. Kate, would you do anything differently? Would you release a statement? Would you say, please stop commenting on my relationship?
I think even if she did, people would still have something to say anyway. So I would just probably wouldn't say anything. I'm surprised she even looks as well. But I think a lot of people do send abuse and think this person's never going to see this anyway. They'd be quite surprised that some people do read everything.
It's difficult. But I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot more from them. And maybe this will be the making of them, this other child, to bring the family unit together. Maybe. We'll see. But we're going to move on to another relationship now, with more of a UK star. Christine McGuinness said she'd run 1,000,000 miles if she met husband Paddy now. Do you think leopards change their spots, ladies? Or do you think they're the same person as they were however many years ago when you met them, Kate?
I think people do change. People are always evolving. So yeah, 100% people can change.
Okay. And even down to like stuff like infidelity.
I think most people will just do it again. It's kind of in them if they're going to do it, and a small minority might change. Maybe.
Interesting. Daisy?
Yeah, I think a leopard can change its spots. You know, we can grow and we talk about stuff and learn new behaviours, I suppose. I'd like to have the faith that people can change for the better, yes.
Okay. Even when it comes down to infidelity?
Yeah, because I think there's a reason why you're doing it. Is it like insecurity in yourself? Is it because you're with the wrong person? Like something needs to change. So if someone is now with the right person and they've spoken about the reasons why they do it, you know, can they learn from that and change it? I'm still going to be hopeful. Yeah.
Okay. Jess, any additional comments to this?
No, I think I agree with the girls. Like some aspects can change. I guess like guys that were like terrible cheats in their 20s and like wouldn't settle down and were like playboys. I think in their 40s it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be like that as well, because they'll be less attractive and they're able to go out and pull anyway. So they probably will settle down and will be normal, you know?
Because they're forced to.
Yeah, because they're forced to. Situations change people a lot, I think. So, yeah, that's weird that she said that though about her husband. Are they still together?
Yeah, they're going through
Oh,
now. Not this is not a quote. There's lots of articles online on the Daystar website, so this is not a quote. But I think a bit of a rough time
God.
is what they've said.
A rough patch.
Yeah,
Oh,
and we know, you know, from being in relationships ourselves, it's not always
no.
high points all the time. Daisy, if you met your partner now, would you run 1,000,000 miles?
No. I can't say stuff like this. No, it's wonderful.
Sorry, I had to ask.
Practically perfect in every way.
Okay, let's take this to a poll. Do you think partners change over time? Yes, 60%. No, 40%. So that's what you guys think at home. I think people can change, but I do think it does take quite a while and a bit of trial and error. So yeah, that's my opinion anyway. But we've come to the part in the show where it's the hot seat, and this week it's Daisy. There she is. Well, there she is. Hopefully we'll get a little picture of you soon.
Maybe.
Wait, get your little screenshot of that face there. We'll get it on. But girls, I hope you've come prepared with questions. Okay, Kate, you're going to go first. Keep it PG.
I will. If you could go 50 years in the past or in the future, which one would you go? And would you in general, if you had the opportunity?
I don't think I'd want to. I definitely wouldn't want to be 50 years down the line and see how wrinkly I'm going to be. I wouldn't be born if I went back 50 years. I'd go back. But if I could know everything I knew now, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay,
definitely not forward, though. No.
Jess? You're making me laugh so much. Jess, any hot seat questions?
Yes. So if you could have dinner with any celebrity, dead or alive, who would it be?
Thor. But he has to come dressed as Thor.
Thor?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Bit of identity, and I like that he just changes his body. He's like, got to get my forearms back now. I think that's dedication.
I love it. That's a great choice.
What have you learned about yourself within the past 2 years?
I have learned in the past few years that the truth would be that I probably was never standing up for myself before. I would be a bit of a pushover almost. And now I'm like, do you know what? We all breathe the same air. We all have the same colour blood. We'll just talk one-on-one. Like, I respect myself, so you should respect me. And I just think it's important to like stand up for yourself now. I would do that now, but I wouldn't have done that 2 years ago.
Oh, nice. Proud of you.
Thanks.
Proud of you. That's lovely. Okay, Kate, your next question.
Yeah, what's the best date you've been on and why?
Oh, do you know what? I just love an alcohol involved date. I really do. And I know that that's a bit like cliche. But once that picnic and drinking, that was fun. It's not a really good answer. Like, no one's whisked me away to another country for the day or anything like that. So nothing's really standing out. But yeah, I've had some really fun, like just let yourself loose, dancing on the tables, drunken dates. I'm up for that.
Yeah, that's a good one. Tips and fun. Jess.
So obviously because you're on the aeroplane a lot, can we talk about that on here? Do you talk about
Yeah, as long as we just say aeroplanes.
Okay. What's your favourite aeroplane meal that goes round and gets served? Is there like a particular one that you really like?
So a little fact for you, when you're flying, you lose your taste buds. So all aeroplane meals are always full of like garlic, spicy, loads of salt because it has to taste nice. But before I started flying, like I hated curry. But planes do quite nice curries. Little paneer curry I quite like on the plane.
So when you say taste buds thing, what is that all about?
Oh, I don't know the science behind it, but when you're in the sky, you lose your taste buds, like the altitude or something. Like your taste buds aren't as good. So like if you think when you're on a plane, like there's always cheese, onion, crisps, like stuff like that. Flavour.
So true, the little pretzels.
Yeah. Again, like salt, cheese and chive or whatever, onion, whatever. Yeah. Facts of the day, ladies.
That's really fun. So, Kate, can you give any insight on this?
Yeah, I actually didn't know that you lost your taste buds. I didn't know that. So
I don't think you lose them, but they're just not as like potent. Is that the word?
Yeah.
Yeah. They have to just load everything with salt and garlic and onions and flavour. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I know that you get a cold if you have a cold, it's going to be way worse in the sky. I know that.
My God.
Maybe that's related.
Yeah.
This is a good one. Another aeroplane related one. Careful on the answer. Have you ever caught a couple up to no good on a plane?
Yes, definitely. But it depends if I like them or not. I know that sounds really bad. Like if you see people going in the toilet and they've been rude to you all flat, I'm like, no, sorry, one at a time. But in upper class as well, like first class, when they're laying in beds, like couples try and get into bed with each other, and you're like, you can't do that, honey. Sorry.
No way.
Do you ever just let it slide? Do you ever just say, oh, go on?
No, of course not.
Oh my God, that's so. I can't believe people actually do like have the balls to do that.
You know what though? It's so dirty. I'm like, it's an aeroplane toilet, like gross. Like there's people wee on the floor in there.
No. Also, not a lot of space.
No.
Very restricted.
Very restricted. Not one. Also, a really hot day. Oh.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Actually, I know you're in the hot seat, Daisy, but Kate, did you know this? Have you ever come across this?
I've never come across it. I actually haven't. I haven't been doing it for that long, so maybe that's why. I will eventually, probably next time.
Keep us posted.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I will keep you posted. Oh my God, can I change my question though to Daisy now? You probably got this a lot, but has anyone tried to like chat you up, and then how did it go down?
Yes, I have. I've said before actually, people like write on napkins and then they're like, and you're like, oh. rubbish.
And then it's awkward, obviously, on a long haul flight where you've now got to deal with them.
I've lost it. Yeah.
So funny.
No.
What's fun? I like having banter with people. Have a giggle. Make the day go quick. Never
Yeah.
see them again anyway.
True.
Watch them fly over.
Do you ever get lots of, oh, I'll have a whatever it is, whiskey and coke, and you get one for yourself, kind of thing, the classic.
No, but on my flight to Vegas that we've just done, they were all playing cards and like playing with money, and they're like, go on, like we'll buy a drink for yourself. Or people have bought like perfume before, they're buying something at duty free, they're like, get yourself something. It's quite nice.
Aww. And do you do it?
I love presents.
Oh, okay. So you're like, yeah, I'll have the Chanel.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, that's good fun. Jess, we're going to finish on your question this week.
This is all about planes, because now we're talking about it, I feel like I just really want to ask. Have you ever had turbulence so bad that you've actually been scared?
Once, yeah. Like I had to literally like crawl to my jumpsuit to like strap myself in before, and you're a bit like, my goodness. But I actually like the bumps. I find them quite therapeutic. I'm like, wee,
Really?
I actually like them, yeah.
Lord.
Oh my God. Do you have it when people are like crying and stuff? It's like such bad turbulence, like praying.
Yeah, we've run out of like sick bags before. The whole plane's been crying. It makes for a good story. I love the dramaticness.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever been sick on you?
No, but I've been like sick bags in hand before, and I'm like, oh my God, why have I touched that? And I've had to clean up before as well.
Oh no.
Yeah. I get home and I just get straight in the shower. I don't touch anything.
Yeah. One of those ones where you're like, right, that's going on a 60 wash.
On its own, yeah.
Yeah, honestly. Okay then. Well, that brings up the end, shall I say? Closes Hot Topics this week. It's been a very hot, sizzly Hot Topics this week. I hope you enjoy the heat wave. Stay safe, drink lots of water, and thank you girls for coming on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.